Okay, here's the second part of our DNA lesson for today, and I wish I had gotten to this in the first part, but here we go. The summary of the analogies. The nucleus of the cell is like a chef's library. All the books in the library are going to be cookbooks. The genome is the entire library of the cookbook, all the different types of cookbooks that there could be. The chromosome is one single cookbook that's going to have lots of recipes inside for all different kinds of stuff. A gene is just one recipe in the cookbook. What does one recipe do? It gives you the instructions on how to make something. It's the same thing that the gene does. What's a codon? A codon is one word in the recipe. The bases are the letters of the word. So they're the letters that make the codon. And the amino acids are the ingredients for the recipe. And the protein is what you're going to make, the meal, the entree. What you're going to do by taking the ingredients and following the recipe, taking the ingredients and putting them together in the right way. The mutation in a gene is a spelling or a typographical error in the recipe. If you have a typographical error in your recipe, you're going to have a different end product. What you taste is going to be a little bit different. Same thing can happen with genes. The protein that you make can be a little bit different. All right, let's get to the meat of this stuff. This is what's probably the most important section and that you should really be taking notes on. The basic structure of DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. The nucleic acid is a polymer, so that's units that are put together, many units, and the unit are the nucleotides. That's the monomer. There are only 4 types of nucleotides that make up the DNA, and all of the nucleotides have the same 3 parts. You've got the sugar, the phosphate, and one base. Here's a drawing of that. You've got the phosphate in kind of the orangey yellow part. You've got the greenish blue sugar, and you've got the green nitrogenous base. I like looking at the sugar. If you count all the sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's the shape of a pentagon. This is how the carbons form together. They form a ring. So if it's 5, it's a pentose. So that's the shape. The phosphate group is a phosphorus atom and is surrounded by 4 oxygen atoms. And then the nitrogenous base is a single or double ring of carbon and nitrogen, and it has these functional groups on the end. Okay, double helix. The reason the DNA looks like it does is because of the pairing of the bases. There's 2 rules. Adenine always pairs with thymine. The way I always remember that is A pairs with T, and I think of AT&T, and for some reason it's just always stuck. And then that just means guanine and cytosine pair together, G and C. These are considered complementary bases, and they always pair like that. So nucleotides are joined to one another by chemical bonds that connect the sugar of one nucleotide to the phosphate group of the other. So it goes sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, sugar, phosphate, and that forms a backbone. In the middle of that, you've got the nucleotides of DNA, and those are linked together in different sequences to form different genes, like the recipes. The possible sequence combinations are virtually unlimited, but the sugar backbone stays the same. If you look in the picture, you've got the tiny circle, and then you've got the 5-carbon pentagram looking shape, and in the middle are all the bases. It's just C, T, A, or G, and they go together in different ways to make different genes. A complete DNA molecule consists of 2 strands of nucleotide sequences arranged in a twisted ladder shape called a double helix. Sides of the twisted ladder are the sugar phosphate backbones of the 2 strands, and the rungs of the ladders are the bases, and they're joined together by hydrogen bonds. And the rungs are called base pairs, because there's always 2. Okay, what are the 3 parts of a nucleotide, and which parts make up the backbone of a DNA strand? Well, you've got the sugar and the phosphate and the nitrogenous base. The sugar and the phosphate are the parts that make up the backbone. List the 2 base pairs found in DNA, A and T, G and C. If 6 bases on one strand of DNA double helix are A, G, T, C, G, G. What are the 6 bases on the complementary section of the other strand of DNA? A pairs with T, so that's why that's the first one. G pairs with C, so that's the next one. T pairs with A, C pairs with G, G pairs with C, G pairs with C. Complementary bases. And that's the end of this lesson. Yay!